Hi, welcome to What's Up with DJ Now. Today we're making a sous vide T-bone steak. Stay tuned. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and get started. This is what I'm going to be using today. And if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be greatly appreciated. And please click the bell to be notified of future videos and be part of the conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the T-bone steak. And I'm going to go ahead and put some Worcestershire sauce on here. And this is some really good, Kinder's is some really good Steakhouse buttery seasoning. It's really good on any meat. I'll link it in the description. Anything in the video will be linked in the description. And then a little bit of black pepper, fresh peppercorn with my automatic grinder. And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to sous vide the T-bone steak. Sous vide is really good because you cook the steak or whatever meat you're cooking to the exact temperature that you like and you prefer. So for example, if you like your steak, rare, then you could cook it to 135 and have rare. If you like well done, you could cook it to well done. If you like it medium well, you could cook it to medium well. And it cooks it to the exact temperature. Sous vide is a French word that means under vacuum, because you're essentially vacuum sealing the meat or the vegetable or whatever you're doing. Yes, you can do vegetables too, but your vacuum means vacuum sealing out the air. Now, you don't have to have a vacuum sealer. You can do it with a Ziploc bag, and you can use the water displacement method. I have another video where I show that being done, and I'll link that in the description as well. So anyhow, sous vide means under vacuum, under pressure. So you're not going to pressure cook it, we're going to sous vide it, and it's a slow cook. And the time can be the time that you choose. Typically it depends on the cut of the meat, how long you do it for. So you'll see that I'm going to go ahead and put it in a bag. Now I do have a vacuum sealer in this video, so I will be vacuum sealing it. But as I said, I have another video on my channel with a ribeye steak, which I show doing the water displacement method, which works really well. So there's no need to go out and buy a vacuum sealer. I did end up buying one because I do like storing my meat in the freezer like that. It stays better for a lot longer. And then I'm just getting the extra moisture off right the inside of the bag so that I can seal it up nice and good in the sealer. And then I'm just going to set that over to moist. Sous vide food is really good. Like I said, it keeps the meat juicy. It makes it very tender, very juicy. And then you do the sear at the end. So you're cooking the meat in a water bath at the controlled temperature. And then afterwards you put your final sear on it. You're browning, you're searing at the end. Just waiting for that light to go off. Now we can open it up. And then we have a nice tight vacuum seal where the food has no air in the bag. You can see it up against the meat. Now you want to take the hottest tap water that you can get out of your tap to put in your Instant Pot, because in that way it won't take as long to get to the temperature that you need it to get to. So just run the hottest tap water you can and put in your Instant Pot and fill it up. And then we're going to go ahead and just put our bag in there, which is completely sealed. Just make sure it's submerged. Now go ahead and put your lid on. If you have a glass lid, you can use the glass one. I like putting this on because I think it seals it in more, keeps it hotter. Now I'm showing you back here, you're going to want to push and press and release where your vent is not sealed, because we are not pressure cooking, we are sous vide. So you want to make sure and release and not seal your pressure valve. Okay, now we're going to push the sous vide button. The first thing is going to be the temperature of the meat, the way you want the temperature to be. Now don't hate on me, I don't like bloody meat, so I will not be cooking this bloody. You guys like rare meat, bloody meat, do it to the temperature you like. I'm going to do it to where I like. 143 is good for me. I don't mind some pink, I just don't want blood in my plate. The second time is going to be the time that you're set it to cook. I'm setting it for 1 hour and 30 minutes. So it'll cook slow for 1 hour and 30 minutes. Okay, now the time has passed. We're coming and opening the lid. And then we'll go ahead and remove the bag. Now, right now the meat won't look all that great because it's cooked in the bag and all the juices and all the marinade, the seasoning, but it's cooked to the exact temperature that you chose. And then once we get the sear on it, it will look much better. So don't be discouraged of how it looks. Now, what you want to do when you sear your meat is you could either sear it, in the bottom of the pressure cooker on saute mode if you want to, or you could do a cast iron skillet, put a little butter in there, or oil, or whatever you choose, or on a grill. And today I'm going to be doing it on a Ninja Foodi Grill. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm just patting. I'm not rubbing because you don't want to rub the seasoning off, but you want to pat off the excess moisture. It's going to be a little moist because it's been in the seasoning and the marinade, but in order to get a good sear, you don't want to have overly saturated meat. So see all that on the bottom? I'm going to put that paper towel down to sop that up. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to just pat, like I said, to get the excess moisture off. You can't get it all off, just get the excess moisture off of the meat. Now you can always put a little more seasoning on it at this time when you're going to sear it. If you feel that it needs more seasoning, go ahead and put some more on. To me, it looked like I still had plenty on here, so I chose to not put any extra. Okay, now here's my Ninja Foodi Grill. And like I said, we're going to be searing it on that on high. And you leave the temperature at 500, and we're going to set that just initially for 6 minutes. We're going to hit start stop so that it will do a preheat, and it'll take a few minutes to preheat this up. But what I was saying a second ago is you could use a cast iron skillet, you could use your grill outside, whatever you want to do to sear your meat. Okay, now it's saying add food once the preheat is done. That means you can open it and you can go ahead and put in your meat. This Ninja Foodi Grill does a wonderful job. I just bought it not that long ago and I'm really loving it quite a bit. Okay, now listen to this sizzle. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and let it go. And I'm going to come back to it in a couple minutes and show you how it's looking. Try and flip it and see how it's doing. See, it was so tender that a little piece of the corner came off. So we'll go ahead and flip that over. Now I'm going to put on just a little tiny butter pat on there and let it continue. I'm just showing you how it's looking. You can really hear it sizzling in there. It doesn't make complete contact in every area, and that's only because this is a T-bone, so it has that big bone, you know, in the middle there. If you had a steak with no bone, you'd get more of a contact, but this is working fine. I do have a Facebook group for cooking, food and cooking and recipes, food and recipes and stuff like that. That'll be linked in the video description as well if you're interested. Okay, let's go ahead and take this steak out. Get it on the plate. And then I'm going to put another little pat of butter because we only did butter on one of the sides earlier. So I'm just going to, as this rests, you always want to let your steak rest a little bit when it comes out. So I'm just going to let that butter kind of melt in there. Now I love sauteed mushrooms, so I made some sauteed mushrooms right before this was done to top it off. You can't have a good steak and not have sauteed mushrooms on top. I'm going to go ahead and link a very short video on how I did the sauteed mushrooms. They just take a very few minutes. It's super easy. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of these yummy mushrooms on top. I kept wanting to eat these while I was waiting. Sauteed mushrooms are just basically butter, garlic, a little bit of cooking white wine, parsley, a little bit of oil. Super easy. Anybody can do them. Make them restaurant quality sauteed mushrooms. So good. Okay, so here's our steak all plated up. Looking and smelling wonderful. Let's go ahead and cut into it. And there you see how mine is done. Some pink, but not overly pink. Like I said, to each their own. No judging. You guys make it to the temperature you want. I'll link in the description the temperatures for each type of doneness on the steaks so that you'll have an idea, but you can easily Google it and find out as well. And here's Sammy to get his little taste. He's the quality control expert in the house, so it's got to get his approval. There you go, Sammy boy. I think he approves. Okay, now I like A1. I don't know if everyone does. It's good without it, but I also love it with A1. So again, to each their own. Eat it the way you like it, the way you prefer it. I just love A1. I think it enhances the flavor. That's so good. Let's get a little bit of mushroom. Show you how those look up close. Buttery, garlicky, good. Yum. I really appreciate you all watching my video. If you can like and subscribe, and I really appreciate it, and thank you for watching. Check the video description for details, and you all have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.